Now this is the iDoing head unit. We have the adapter that was in this small little bag. So I got all those white clips transferred over, and now what's up guys, it's your boy John, back again here with another video. Today we'll be taking a look at the Honda Civic 2007. Now this is a very popular model. When I was growing up, I thought this generation was the best Civic in terms of the look. I believe this is the 8th generation Civic. It's a very popular car, and yeah, it looks amazing. We had to update it though, because even though the engine and everything's still great, the infotainment needs some work. So today we're gonna use iDoing's head unit, which is gonna make it have CarPlay, Android Auto, YouTube, Netflix, all that good stuff, and even have the option to add a reverse backup camera since this car didn't come with a backup camera at the time. But let me show you the product. I already have it unboxed. Here you go. Now this is the iDoing head unit. Again, if you don't know what this is changes your radio essentially. And what's nice about this versus like Pioneer, Sony, and other manufacturers is, look, it already comes with the shell, it already comes with the wires, so it's very plug and play, user friendly in terms of installation friendly. And look at all these, everything is matched and it's already colored for you, and you get this beautiful huge display. It's made out of glass, which is nice, good quality. You got the capacitive buttons, and everything is molded on the back as well, so you can retain your OEM brackets and all that stuff in terms of clips and whatnot. Another thing iDoing does well is it's plug and play. So you unplug your OEM radio and you just plug in your new radio without too many issues, which is awesome because everything's plug and play. And what we have here is the GPS antenna. This is something if you need to use for the like Garmin, TomTom, those have its own GPS. This has its own GPS as well. Doesn't need to use internet or anything. It has a GPS antenna. And then 4G, this is if you want to use cellular. So if you buy a SIM card, not very popular for me, but others maybe in in the United States. That's something you want to consider. This is for radio antenna, which your car has. Again, these are the ports. Very beautiful, very simple, gonna be very easy to install. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut to me removing the OEM head unit, and then we'll cut back to me installing this new one. So let's take it apart and move on from there. Okay. Turn it on. Don't turn the car on, but have it on the on position. And then move this to, we're gonna have to move all this out, so let's put this into first gear. Make sure it's on the e-brake. No, have it on the e-brake, okay. And just shift it into gear. To one. Then you can turn it off. Make sure, yeah, we're good. So this will give us clearance when we're removing it. You can turn off your car now. You can take it out.
Wait, what happened?
Oh, you can't take it out. Press the brakes. It might not let you take it out.
No.
Okay, just leave it like that.
Okay.
All right, so there's a little panel right here. I don't know if you guys can see that. There's little 2 notches you can pick at right here. We're gonna use this plastic tool, so it'll prevent damaging the thing itself. When you open like this, it just pops right out. I just like using my wrist to twist. That way I'm not damaging anything. And this is gonna reveal 2 8mm bolts. The bolts are faced this way, and that's what holds this plastic trim in. So here's a little bolt right here. You can see there's a little washer and an 8. So it is an 8. The only thing is it's really an awkward position. So I use this little tool. So you don't need this tool, but we use this tool to basically grab on to the spot right here. Beep, but we pretty much have to just remove these panel pieces and remove the whole top. And to do that, make sure there's no coins in here, and you should be able to just pull. You can either use your hand to pull. That's one. This one's heavy. Whole thing is out. So we have that out. Try to get the angle here. So we're gonna pretty much remove all these plugs for the HVAC system, hazard buttons. If you aren't sure where it goes, I highly recommend taking a picture of it. So that's gonna do a little more clearance. Be very careful, especially like right this part. So plastic on plastic, it does wear a little bit, but metal on plastic, that's gonna do some damage. So be careful with the metal bracket. Do you have that towel?
Let me grab it.
I just want to have it set on your shift knob. You can use it to prevent it from scratching too. Yeah, just place it like right here. Yeah, just place it like right here. Okay, that way. Have it rest on that. Okay, that was easy. Oh yeah, then we have the HVAC one. So there you go. We have the head unit out. It's pretty heavy, but we still need to transfer the HVAC systems. So we're gonna unscrew these 4 bolts. The hazard has 2 bolts. The passenger airbag light is another 2 bolts. And then the fans are actually another 3 bolts. So we're gonna unscrew that. All right, just like that, I screwed in the AC, the hazard, and the sensor for the climate control. Now, something that we can't have displayed in the front is the passenger airbag. So make sure you plug it in so it's not throwing any codes. But yeah, the OEM unit does have it displayed like right here. Looks like you can see that. But this one, there's no spot for it. Another thing I would like to note is when you're popping the AC unit out, you're gonna have these knobs right here. So I have an example right here. So to pop it out, it's pretty easy. You just kind of pull it and it comes out. To put it back in, you kind of just line it up. And then once it's in kind of in this position right here, you just clip it in. That's all it takes. That's it. Awesome. All right, so you just plug in this port right here. You plug in this port, you're pretty much golden right here. They only go in one way, so you don't really have to worry about anything. You also have this antenna, which is the radio antenna that you want to plug in to the back of this. Make sure it clips in nice and good. And the rest is this for the AC. And that's it for the radio install. It's that simple. Now we just plug it into the back of the new radio. And plugging in the back of this one is actually also very easy. Since there's only 2 wires, this one goes to the top, and then this one will go right here. Now I can't plug it in right now because actually I might be able to. Just very little clearance, so because the wire is not long enough. But once you plug in that, you can test if your head unit works. So I'm just gonna kind of set it down a little bit. And then we're gonna fire up the car and check if it works. So things are just kind of in a temporary spot. Boom, instant turn on, which is great. It's gonna beep because I have the door open. Gently close that. And now we wanna check if the sound works. And I hear audio, which is great. You hear the little beeping. And to set it up, there's one thing that generally people like to set up when it comes to this is hook it up to your phone, which I can do, but I'm gonna check steering wheel controls because some people are curious if the steering wheel controls are gonna be working. So this is volume up. You see how it changes? When I press volume up, it detects that there's a change in resistance. So we're gonna do volume up, minus is volume down. Next, we're gonna do next song, previous song, and then mode. I'm gonna have that to go back to your home. Or I'll do back. I think the back's a little bit more useful. So there you go. Now you have volume controls on the Android head unit with next and skip to. So everything looks good here. It's a matter of plugging the rest of the accessories. So I'm gonna fire this off to save some battery. Some of the accessories that I'm going to talk about is you need to plug in certain things like the Wi-Fi cable, and I'm going to go through that right now. All right, so the install for these USB cable ports. Now I have it routed, so I fished it through here, and then when you go in through there, you can go through the glove box, and you're going to have now 3 USBs. Now this is great if you want to put some flash drive to watch movies. But this one in particular is for CarLink. So if your wireless CarLink isn't working, or Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, use this hardwire one and you're good. Also, what's nice about USBs, in the future, if the owner needs to charge multiple things, or if they run a dash cam or something like that, or a radar detector, you got these extra power inputs, and that's going to be purple. And then you're gonna have this kind of green one. Now these little ports only fit in one way when you're plugging into the accessory port. Now I have some right now right here. Now this is if you want to install a backup camera, which we don't have, but I plugged it in anyways just in case in the future the owner decides to do that. These are for the RCA jacks. Again, nothing that we're gonna be doing with those, but I'm gonna plug it in there just for future proofing. The one that, like the important one that you need to have is this Wi-Fi one, which is blue and it plugs in right here. The reason why is when you're using CarPlay, it uses wireless Wi-Fi signal, and it uses Bluetooth initially to handshake, and then it goes to Wi-Fi, so then it has a stronger, more, higher bandwidth connection. Microphone. The owner opted to not use the microphone, the third microphone, and opted to just use the microphone right here in the front. I don't blame him. It looks a lot cleaner, so that's what we're gonna do here. But we'll keep it. And then lastly, you get the GPS antenna, which you just take this little red nub off, and then you just screw in the GPS antenna. All right, so now we are gonna fish everything back. This is where it is a little bit tricky because you have to hold it in one hand while plugging it into the other. That way you can, I'm not sure if you guys can get a good view of that, but just plug in those USBs that were going through the glove box. Again, these ports only fit in one way. I can't really show y'all, but you guys can at least hear it. USB, I'm plugging in that purple wire, and this big old black wire, the very important one that kind of controls everything. We already plugged that and showed that earlier today. And yeah, that's it. We got the radio antenna and the USBs. Now we slowly fish this back and we plug in the AC unit control. So you want the HVAC controller in the back. That's on the bottom. There's 2 plugs, so don't forget it. So, and then we're good right here. And don't forget, we have the hazard light and then the sensor, like for the climate control. So we just gotta, again, you just gotta kind of fish it. I haven't plugged in those climate control ones yet. Just gotta work it. Hazard button plugged in. Oh, and I forgot to mention that you need to transfer your clips. So there's these clips up here. You want to transfer your original ones that are in your OG head unit over to. Guess I can show that real quick. So to remove the OG clips, you just kind of lift them gently. Gently, because it looks like it's about to snap, but then it comes off, and then you just put it onto your new head unit. To put on your new head unit, you just put it in like this. It's very simple. Maybe if I try it with 2 hands. But yeah, you just want to clip it in. There you go. So now it's clipped in. Transfer the rest of the white clips over to the new head unit. So I got all those white clips transferred over. Now we put it in. Those clips are actually very important because, well, there's what is using to clamp. And also keep in mind of that auto climate control too. Make sure you put it back into the right hole. When you're fishing it back. So the fitment right here is amazing. Looking good. And across up here is good too. Now it is a little bit not the best right here. I would say that's like a, but if you look at the gaps here too, it's also not very good too. But I would say the gaps are a little bit better than this right here. It is an old car, so things are a little bit as you can see. But the main gap right here looks great. Right here it is passable, and at the bottom is okay. But yeah, let's go fire it up and see how it goes. Get this fired up. Use some ignition. Oh. Hazards working. AC. Increase it off and on. Nice. So that's working perfectly fine. Alright, so to hook it up to the Bluetooth, you go to the Bluetooth app and then you look for this device right here with that pin number. I have an Android, I have an Apple right here. So the Bluetooth app is right here. And once you're linked, you should be golden. It says that I'm connected to my iPhone now. And to go to Android Auto and Apple Carplay, you go to this thing called Z-Link, or CarLink, sorry. Similar app. And then boom. Did not show. That's my Honda app, so you can ignore that, but there you go. We got Apple CarPlay in the old Civic with volume controls and music skip. I left the wrapper on in case the owner wants to take it off. But yeah, volume up, volume down. Skip the song if you want. Yeah, it's very fast, very responsive. Of course, you have your maps and your Waze. I got the Chick-fil-A app. Of course, I got my Honda. Honda gang. But yeah, let's go through the other settings right here too. I have steering wheel controls that we already went through, but let's look at the settings so you can see what's in it. Hopefully you guys can see. I have my garage open, so maybe if I put the camera like this. Device, you get the USB, general. This general is generally what you wanna go through because you can have a lot of different settings. Reverse camera, we're not doing any of that. Let's try the headlights on. I don't know if you can see that, but the lights did kick on right here, so it does illuminate. And what that does is if you do time control, you can also, I just like it to have it based off of when you turn your headlights on. Boot volume, GPX mix, lantern is kind of cool. So I'm not sure the colors of the Civic, but it looks like white. But you can change it to white, red. So now this is red. Whew! Just got karate chopped. Let's do white because it looks like most of the interior settings is white. Let me get a little bit lower. Steering controls, navigation app. We do have the GPS thing. Factory settings. Here's the system settings and about device if you want to know a little bit more. Using the Android 12 build number. This is using an octa-core. Very cool. And this thing has plenty of storage as well, which I don't know where to find, but it's in there. It's buried deep. The main reason why you would get something like this is if you want to use GPS with your Apple or your Android phone. So if you have any of these, I don't like Apple and Google has the best kind of mapping system. So when you go to CarLink 2.0 and you go to Google Maps or whatever maps you use, I don't want to show you the GPS, but you get the point. It's very easy to use, and this is something I highly recommend anybody to do. The install was fairly easy, besides getting these two 8mm that required a little fighting because it's kind of hard to see. My head had to be like basically right here looking up so I can see where I'm unscrewing. But other than that, that's it.